Good evening, everybody. It's the Insomniac Circle, and I'm appreciative for those of you who are up and those of you who are joining us for our Insomniac encounter. I'm appreciative for all of you. I know that you have a whole lot of things that you can be doing, but felt like tonight I needed to give some redress. There's some other people who need to be included in this dialogue and discussion. You know them better than I do. And so let's wake them up as quickly as you possibly can. If you're in Apple, then you know what is asked of you. I need you to slide your screen from left to right. And if you are in Android, I need you to go from the bottom to the top. And when we are ready, then we're going to go forward. Do me a favor, please, just so I know I'm not talking to white noise. If you heard Ray Lewis's clip, ask that you will please double tap that screen for me. If you believe that the black church needs to give some redress to it, I need you to double tap that screen for me. Over almost now 3 million people have watched it in 72 hours. And I'm going to give some redress in just 1 minute. I'd like for us to get to 1,000 before I begin. So I need you very quickly, please, to help me get to that number. Ask that you'll invite as many people as you possibly can. Tap that little man, please. It's the hour of the little man. I need you to touch, lay hands on that little man right there in the corner. He needs a breakthrough. Ask that you'll invite as many people as you possibly can. Come on, there's healing power in your hand. Lay hands on that little man very quickly. All of the aggression that you need to get out, I need you to put it out even right now. I need you to double tap that screen. If you'll invite some people to come on with us. Kimberly, thank you for doing that. Who else is inviting people on tonight? Oh, there's my brother, Too Cute from Wisconsin. Thank you so much. Tamika Shalom, thank you so much. Lady T. Thomas, thank you for inviting people. Carlton Lynch, watched you tonight. You did an incredible job. Nicole Caldwell, Dr. V. Reese, Ursula, thank you so very much. While we're moving up to 1,000, I want to say to those of you who are in Philadelphia to join me tomorrow. I will be in Philadelphia tomorrow. I've got to give some redress to the remarks that former President Bill Clinton made in Philadelphia today. Yes, that's Nelson Mandela behind me, an incredibly gifted painter in Morocco. Did that for me, and I brought it home actually last May. Nelson Mandela. Hey, Pastor Elwood, heard y'all had a great time on the night. My brother Rudolph McKissick said that y'all were out of this world. All right, we're getting ready to start. We're at 9:35. I need to get to 1,000. 99 just won't do. Come on, very quickly. Yes, I'll be in Philly tomorrow at Mother Bethel AME Church at 1:30 in the afternoon. I know it's in the middle of the day. Somebody from my staff will try to Periscope if you can't meet me there, but all of black intellectuals, black from the academy, are coming to talk about the role of the black church in this hour. We're at 9:21. I need y'all to move quickly, very quickly. No, sir, this hat is black with silver, but our colors are crimson and cream. You already know that. Mark, don't push me out of my focus. Come on, let's go very quickly, if you will. Let's try to move as quickly as we possibly can. Prophetess, thank you so much for joining us Yes, the 7 last words was amazing. We're at 9:42. Is that my little brother? I think Pastor Mark Moore Jr. Boaz is dead. You've been doing the funeral. You've been killing him, bro. Dead. I've been killing it on keys that ain't even on a Kawasaki keyboard. Anyway, let's do this. So let me give full disclosure before I go into my remarks on tonight. Ray Lewis is a dear friend of mine, and not just a friend, but Ray Lewis is a brother beloved. While playing for the Ravens, he was a member on watch care at my church. I love him as a brother. He gave his initial sermon and message at my church. Is a friend of mine on the field and off of the field. And I'm saying now for the 4th time that I absolutely love him. Now, in loving him does not blind me from speaking that which is true and correcting that which is in error. Earlier this week, my brother Ray Lewis from home made a video decrying the violence that is taking place in Chicago, in Baltimore, and Miami. And I too say that it is very disheartening the crime that is taking place in our cities. And it is from that point of departure that Ray Lewis and I now go 2 separate ways, philosophically and ideologically. He said some things that were very frightening, that we've got to operate, the first one, in the same level of unity that we had in slavery. We didn't have the level of unity in slavery was not our picture of harmony. It was a picture of our outrage and duress, being in a place where we were absolutely out of our will to make America the rich nation that it is now without ever paying us reparations. He then said that he would give 90 days of being in charge and put buckets on every corner for people to turn in their guns. And if they did not, then he would slam on them a 25-year minimum sentence, not even knowing that this is the rhetoric of mass incarceration as enacted by Bill Clinton, that put 1 million black men behind bars, that from 1998 to 2005, every 10 days a new prison was built. In California, over the last 20 years, they built 22 new prisons and only 1 new college. And so, my dear brother, that is not the model that we want to replicate or even want to move forward in. And then he used a language that is very damnable to our community and finds us at a place that a lot of people on the other side try to use against us whenever there is an issue. They always want to raise up and clamor around this whole invisible notion of black on black crime. I would challenge you to take no-dose, Red Bull, and whatever else, Mountain Dew, to stay up in a full 24-hour cycle, and you will never hear the phraseology of white on white crime. You'll never hear the phraseology of Arab on Arab crime or Islam against Islam, Muslim against Muslim crime. It is a made-up notion only to perpetuate the myth that the root of all of the ills and ails that plague the black community is just the crime of how it is that we treat each other. I want to give you, so that you are armed with information and not emotion, about why it is that this whole mythic Walt Disney World interpretation of what is taking place in our community is in fact pointed back to the heartbeat of black on black crime. I want to give these to you. I want you to have them. I need you to sink them in, and it's going to help you to be able to refute a white supremacist doctrine that wants to incarcerate us psychologically. Here's the first thing that I need you to be aware of, because we have, in fact, forgotten that the Bible is true. People died from a lack of knowledge. Number one, 84% of white murder victims, watch this, are white. You just missed it. According to the FBI homicide statistics, for the last 28 years, marching from 1990 up until the present, watch this, that the overwhelming majority of white people who are killed by other white people. But ladies and gentlemen, there are no panels, there are no C-SPAN discussions, there are no congressional hearings on white crime. The second thing that I want you to be aware of, I'm trying to help you, Ray Lewis, is that whites kill more whites than blacks kill each other. Y'all just missed it. Can I give it to you again? Whites kill more whites than black people kill each other. Yet, we act as if that the crime that is taking place is only within our community. When it is that black people are on drugs, it is a criminal issue. When white people are on drugs, it becomes a health concern. When they got the report from the Center of Disease Control that the majority of people who are strung out on heroin, PCP, watch this, are not inner city black youth, but suburban white kids, then they changed the language and said, let's legalize it. As long as drug addiction and abuse had a black face, then let's criminalize it. But the reality is, watch this, whites kill more whites than black people kill other black people, but we never hear an issue or phraseology or a book or a doctoral dissertation on white crime. In the fact, the prism of realizing that 2,447 black people were murdered, watch this, 2,695 white people were killed by their own. But we never hear this number. Here's the third reason, Mr. Lewis, I love you and I'm speaking now out of love, is white people commit more crimes on other races than black people do. Did you all hear what I just said? White people commit more crimes on other races than black people do. So more Latinos have been injured by white people. More transgendered have been injured by white people. More black people have been injured by white people. More white people have been injured by more white people. So let me say to the old white lady who clutches her purse when she sees a black man, don't do that if you're not clutching your purse when you see a young white man. Don't just lock the door when you see young black youth coming. Lock the door when you see young white youth coming, because more white people commit hate crimes on people outside of the race than black people do. And so you hear this language in gangster rap music and you assume that all black people are thugs when there are more neo-Nazi, white supremacist, whiteheads, skinheads who are roaming the streets, who are looking to do harm, than there are black people doing so. So you don't need to be afraid of black men. You need to be afraid of white men because they commit more crimes. Here's the fourth one. White people kill more members of vulnerable populations than any other race. What are the vulnerable populations? The vulnerable populations, hear this, are children and elderly. So more white people kill children, babies, and old people than black people do. Yet the face of crime, criminal behavior, and deviant actions are in fact painted with a black brush when more often than not, the most vulgar and reprehensible actions do not happen at the hand of black men, but happen at the hands of white men. And yet, y'all forget that the central characters of Criminal Minds are in fact white males, but we paint the face for it to be black men. Not true. Here's the fifth one. It's getting ready to blow your way and mess you up. Gang murders are most common amongst white gangs. But y'all don't hear me though. Gang murders, gang initiation is more violent with white supremacist white gangs than they are with black gangs. And yet when you think about a gang task force, you thinking about the Disciples, the Bloods, the Crips, watch this, 8th Street Mafia, and you are forgetting, watch this, that most of the violence that happens, we don't even want to talk about motorcycle gangs. We don't even want to talk about drug distribution. We don't even want to talk about random drive-bys, Hell's Angels, thank you, the KKK, and in some instances, white supremacist, white police officers who have a badge and a blue uniform who go undetected, undocumented, but got the tats to prove it. My dear brother, Ray Lewis, and those who, in fact, share his ideology, I want to say to you, I appreciate your passion. I'm grateful that you have that kind of love for our community. But you cannot, in fact, do it half-cocked, knowing the responsibility that you have as a leader. It is, in fact, conservative, fundamental, evangelical Republicans who want to put out the notion that if, in fact, we would stop killing each other or enacting violence, then the community will change. Ladies and gentlemen, if we put all hands up and don't shoot, that still does not create economic engines. Hands up, don't shoot, put the guns down. That still does not create jobs. Hands up, don't shoot. That still does not take away predatory lending. Hands up, don't shoot. It still does not shift the reality that more of our children are placed on special education and put, watch this, on medication rather than being educated to the highest level. If we stop killing each other, will there be clean water in Flint, Michigan? Nobody's going to give redress to that. And so let me say to you, in no uncertain terms, yes, we must love each other. Yes, we've got to treat each other. But in the same notion, in the same responsibility, America has to bow down to understand Black Lives Matter. We're not saying Black Lives Matter is against anybody else. We're saying it, watch this, it's obvious white lives matter, because if they didn't matter, imagine what America would operate and act as if we really took to the understanding, watch this, that Boko Haram has killed more people in Africa than ISIS has in the Middle East. But who do we look at as a threat? It is always, watch this, somebody who is lighter, has a greater value of life. What do you think would be the global response and reaction if 300 Dutch girls were taken hostage? The whole world would freeze. But because they're Nigerian girls, the whole world moves on. Black Lives Matter is not a diminishment of anybody else's life. It is an exclamation point that our life matters. It is only when we value ourselves that other people are offended. Is anybody offended about Chinatown? Is anybody mad about Little Italy? Is anybody mad that Negroes was walking around wearing green for St. Patrick's Day? As long as you celebrate somebody else, it's not a problem. When oppressed people learn to value and love themselves, all hell begins to break loose. Ray Lewis, my friend, my brother, who in fact is a 2-time Super Bowl champion, for being a defensive end. I need you on the front line to fight and defend these children who are taking it to the streets, crying out loud in the words of James Brown, I'm black and I'm proud. Black Lives Matter. We know everybody else's does. but allow me to celebrate me. Allow me to love me. Allow me to value me. And white people, do me a favor. Please stop killing black lives, because black lives do matter. And for those of you who are hired to protect and serve, if you want to operate in a gang-like mentality, take off the badge. But when you put on the badge, you were saying, black lives matter too. Ray Lewis, I love you. And I love every black brother and sister around the world. And it doesn't mean that I hate anybody else, because I love me. Shakespeare said it best. To thine own self be true. I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud.